Hi, thanks for joining me. If you haven't had a chance yet, in the section below the video is an area called guided practice, and if you want to print that out, you can fill some of this out with me. Might help you down the line. So this TEK that we're going to be exploring today is all about how the different members that are found in the ecosystem work together, and we call this interdependence. So there are several different factors that are involved in an ecosystem, and we break those down into abiotic and biotic factors. Abiotic, let me turn on my pointer here, are going to be the ones that are non-living. They're very important and completely necessary, but they do not contain cells. They do not contain living components. So this is going to be your light, water, the areas that animals and humans make a shelter out of, the temperatures, and even things like the soil composition. The biotic ones are the living parts, the food sources that the organisms are going to be eating and how they compete with other populations and also survive other populations. So I'll give you a second to write that down, or you're welcome to pause here. Oh, a good way to remember abiotic is when you put a in front of a word, it means not. Like one of the things we have to study in science is sexual versus asexual reproduction. So asexual means not sexual, not two partners. Okay. So one of the things that really limits what can live in an area is competition. Competition occurs when there's two or more organisms trying to use the same limited resource. There's only so much water, there's only so much space for plants, there's only so much light, there's only so many food sources. So this can occur between producers or consumers. So plants compete as well as animals. They can occur with the same species or with different species. So like I was saying, competition can occur for many different reasons. Competition can limit the space, the sunlight, the shelter, food or water, or any other limited source. And usually populations keep the other one in check. There's only so much that an ecosystem can support. An ecosystem could support many bunnies, but not that many foxes or wolves. So the higher you go up on a food web or food chain, the less that area can support multiple amounts of that organism. So we call these limiting factors. Something that when it runs out, when the population reaches its carrying capacity, how many it can hold of that particular organism, that's a limiting factor. It's something that will lead to competition between organisms. It sounds like, a dog-eat-dog world, as they say, but it's also good because, like I said, it keeps them in check. No one organism should overrun another. You can get to where there's too much of something in one ecosystem if things are not kept in balance or homeostasis between different kinds of organisms. Okay, and that is all. This lesson is not that long. From this, you can go and study all things about food webs and how those things rely on each other. And remember, food webs are just a snapshot of what's going on right at that time in an ecosystem. So one thing down the food chain can affect others. I've linked a video down below, and it really goes through those food webs for you and really kind of gives you an idea of the kinds of questions that would be on standardized tests and what you might have to deal with. Thanks for watching.